Get ready for the smackdown. Get ready for the smackdown. How you gonna react when you're put in the back now? 'Cause there's no turning back when you're facing the smackdown.
Hi guys, it's been a while. I apologize for that, but apologies are not really needed. Just I hope you guys keep enjoying these. So let's get right into the next fight. This one comes from Young Jay-Way, and it puts Bruce, the Dark Knight, versus the Mandarin. Yeah. So we got Bruce versus the Mandarin. Batman versus the Mandarin. I like this. I actually love this fight. So first off, let's see a little bit about Batman. Okay, yeah, as usual, I think we all know Batman, so you just enjoy reading the description. But we move on to his opponent there, and we're talking about the Mandarin. This is the Mandarin, ladies and gentlemen, probably the most famous villain in Tony Stark's Iron Man's Rogues Gallery. Excuse me, probably the one of the most powerful as well. The Mandarin, of course, as you all know, is actually, his father was a direct descendant of Genghis Khan. Right there. He is a scientific genius. He's on par and such with Tony in terms of his skill. The Mandarin, while traveling in the Valley of Spirits, pretty much he ran across the spaceship, the Mackinac spaceship, and that is where he got access to his famous 10 rings that you see on his fingers, the Mackinac rings. But besides that, before I get into the Mackinac rings, let me talk a little bit more about, okay, A, he's a scientific genius. B, he has incredible, extraordinary martial art prowess skills. He's a martial art master. He's able to channel his chi into physical power, and by doing that, that also enables him to increase his strength, his speed, and he's able to fight Tony in armor without even using his rings. I've seen him at one point be able to break through Tony's armor just by using his chi energy, focusing it into his hand and things like that. So that he's a threat. He's a major threat. It amps by channeling his chi, it amps up everything about him. Now, in terms of his rings, now they had one time they said the rings were embedded in his back, into his spine, but later on now we started to see them they were back on his fingers. Now each ring gives off a different ability. There's one that gives off mental interference, like messes with your head, electrical blast, flame blast, blinding light, black light, like absorbs darkness and things like that. A disintegration blast, vortex blast, a lot of different kind of blasts with his rings. But those rings do a lot of damage, and if they combine together, they're incredibly powerful. The Mandarin is no joke, and he's probably one of the most famous Marvel villains out there. Not just one of Tony's rogues, even though he's the most famous, he is probably one of the most famous Marvel villains. And I'm glad to see his longevity is still around. So, in terms of a battle between the Dark Knight and the Mandarin, alright, this is a fight Bruce has to be on his A game. Mandarin's no dummy, and for Bruce to just go into this headstrong, sadly mistaken, because if he does, then Mandarin's gonna kill him. It's a means of basically, in a sense, if it's a hand-to-hand combat fight, it's still gonna be good. If it's a distance battle, I don't have a lot of sheer, like for Bruce in terms of him just throwing his batarangs and everything like that. Because the Mandarin just probably shoot those batarangs down and probably send them right back at him. It's basically a means of, I can't even say getting close, because Mandarin is good at hand-to-hand fighting. It's more about skills and who will make the first mistake. And sometimes the Mandarin's ego gets the best of him, and that could be Bruce's way of winning. That's all I'm gonna say. But leave it up to you guys. Batman or the Mandarin? And I hope you guys enjoyed this fight. This fight came from Young Jayway, so show him some respect. This was his fight. I like this fight. I would pay money to see this being printed out, because it'll be one hell of a fight for Bruce. If Tony has a hard time with the Mandarin, you should believe that Bruce is gonna have a hard time with him. But I'll be back with some more fights, so stay tuned.